You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious. This is a new segment I thought I'd just try out for my channel called, I'm going to call it the Wretched Hive. It's just really just a chat. I'm not going to be reviewing anything as such, but this first episode is a call out to my subscribers and also a thank you. I'd like to thank you if you are a subscriber, and most likely you'll be someone who is a subscriber of mine who is watching this. And a lot of you are commenting regular, which is fantastic. And it's good support, you know. That's what I wanted. I wanted people to just be watching and share their thoughts on stuff. So I'd like to give a couple of shout outs now. The first one would be MG Villain, of course. Thank you very much. You seem to comment on every video I post. Forces with Jesse, Sci-Fi. Also, a really great subscriber who is Predator Wookie. Thank you very much for all your comments. We seem to be on the same, I'd say, singing from the same hymn sheet. Anything I put down, you seem to have a good thought on it, and so that's great. So I thought for this video, for the Wretched Hive, who knows, maybe it will turn into a webcast or something like that. That would be great. I'd love to do one of those things, you know, and you've got like the First Order Transmissions, they do that kind of the Wolfpack podcast, and you know, what's flyguy.net do? He does something called the what's he called, Boring Conversation anyway, and Victoria's Canteen, a Cantina Chatter, that kind of thing. But I just thought I'd just do a little episode and change the surroundings. I'm in the same room, but this is the reverse wall, so there's some more vintage. It goes on, and I will do a tour of my collection soon. But this first video is a call out to all my subscribers. Please, I'd like to see some more comments of things you'd like me to talk about. If you have any more specific ideas of any figures that you would like in the vintage collection next year, because that's the main topic that I'm most interested in, then please leave me a comment on this video and ask me to cover it. I will see if I can dig out either the equivalent of the figure that's already been released, or if it's a loose figure that you think should be, well, I say a loose figure, a figure that has been released in another set of packaging that you think should be on a vintage card back, then I'll try and dig it out, because I've got an extensive collection of loose figures. And if I don't have any of the above that I've just mentioned, I will dig out anything on the internet, whip it out, and then we can make a little discussion of it. For example, here's an idea. I watched Empire Strikes Back recently. I thought Admiral Ozzel would be a good figure to put on a vintage card back. It's quite hard to do Imperial commanders. If you look on some of the figures they've done for Imperials, they all look the same, you know, Moff Jared or whatever his name is, and Captain Needa. There's nothing different about them. But the thing about Admiral Ozzel is he's got his own individuality, if you want to call it that. So I quite like him as a figure, loose, and I think he would be quite quirky. I like Admiral Ozzel. I'd like him on a vintage card back, but I was going to do a separate video on him soon. But that's just a quick thought that I had. There's tons of things that could be on a vintage card back, so I'd love to hear from you if you've got a fair few favourites. A fella did a list. He put a list of 20 figures. I've never heard back from him since. He posted that on a previous video of mine. So any fresh ideas? Ironically, Sci-Fi, if you are watching, you listed a few things you wanted to see on vintage card backs on my previous video, but you didn't know I was going to release this. I was going to do a specific video. I'm going to call it the Wretched Hive number 1. It's a thank you to my subscribers and also a call out. I'd like to hear from you. Firstly, what would you like on a vintage card back? And secondly, if there's any specific if there's any specific figures that I have here that you want me to highlight and talk about, and then we can dig out and discuss on something in particular, it would be my pleasure. And also, a few people have been asking about a tour of this room, and I will do it. All I'm waiting for is to get hold of an HD camera, because the last thing I want to do is for the quality to be rubbish, and I don't want to do it on my phone, should we say. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. Thank you again, everyone who is a subscriber. 38, let's see if we can get to 100. That's what I would love. Doesn't everybody, when they start out as a YouTuber? This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.